What's going on, guys? Panda here, and what I'm gonna do today is I am going to expand my small shitty base. If you guys are wondering what server I'm on, I am on pvp.gontroller.com, and yeah, I've just bought a shitload of obsidian. It's only 750 bucks for I think like 64. So yeah, 64. So let's get started. So this is gonna be kind of hard since like I have water and crafting tables on the top of my base and water surrounding it, so I'm gonna get rid of that. First off, do I have any buckets actually? This is gonna be a long video. I'm gonna take these buckets and just do this. Alright. Just get rid of my stuff here. There we go. And now I'll just get rid of the water. Or I could just get cobblestone and get rid of it, I don't know. Guess that's what a smart person would do. So yeah, I've been on this server for maybe like a day. I voted a lot and just got all this stuff. So, yeah. God, it's gonna be annoying. Okay. Shift. Yeah, I'll just, I'll resume this video when I'm done with the, top area, getting the water out. And I'll see you then. I wanted to point out that I just found a, alright way to get rid of the water. I'm just gonna break blocks on top of here and get rid of it with the cobblestone. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out so it's not gonna take years. Yeah. So now that I've got rid of all the water, mostly, yeah, I got rid of all the water. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start mining to get this base a little bit bigger. I don't know the exact measurement that I need, so I'm just gonna wing it, see how it goes. I don't think I'm gonna do the crafting table idea, because since you can do, I just found out kind of, well, I just thought a little, and they can actually do shift on the crafting tables and break them and stuff. So, well, not if it's claimed, but yeah, it's not a very smart idea. It's actually just another block on top of my base that I have to do. So, thank you, Notch, for implementing that into the game. Alright, just breaking this obsidian. Alright, so my idea, this space is going to be ginormous. Alright, I'm not going to make this any trying to explain this. Width-wise, I'm not going to make this any bigger. I'm just going to keep it like this. Lengthwise, it's going to be ginormous. So yeah. Let me get started. I'm going to get, do I have a shovel? Alright. So I'll record when this is done, I guess, the base outline, I guess. And yeah, see you guys then. So I did some calculations, and the appropriate length for my base is going to be 17 by 5. That's what this is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a upper floor, since I have a lot more obsidian that I could use. So I guess it'll be the same size as this, or I can make a, I don't know, a mob spawner room. I don't know. I'm gonna test it out. Gotta clear some space here. Don't need these buckets right now. Neither do I need my swords. I don't think I've gotten in one PvP fight so far, since I'm just weak right now. I don't have any good armor at all or anything. I'm just focusing on making the base. Didn't spend anything on armor. I need to spend some stuff on armor if I want to raid or something. Yeah, definitely look forward to raids on this channel. I'm going to be doing a lot of raids. But I guess I can get started on this. Make a way up. Did I put that there? I do not remember this. Yeah. I thought it was wood. Alright. So this is gonna be... Let's see if I do this right. See if I did that right. Did I? Yeah. Alright. So this is the correct length that I'm gonna need for the base. I need to just get out the width now. And yeah, hollow this place out and put it up with obsidian. I think it's only gonna be 2 floors. I don't know. I'm gonna do some calculations. Not calculations, I mean... You guys know what I mean. Probably not, but... Alright. So, I'm trying to think of what I want to put up here, because this is a lot of room that I have for this. I might want to put like the important stuff, maybe like some anvils up here, maybe enchantment tables, extra space for raids, say if I get in a raid or something. Yeah, that'll be actually pretty good. And I'm gonna donate pretty soon to the server so I can get some mob traps. Alright, cleared out. So, yeah, this would be good. I need to hollow out the edges too so I can do this. I will start recording, and next time this is hollowed out. So, see you guys then. So, it seems that I've